So here's the right side of the back of the dress, and it's face up, and I'm going to bring the front of the dress face to face with the back of the dress. And then I'm going to move the lining stuff out of the way so that I can just see the self dress. And I'm going to line up seams. So I'll start with the underarm and I'll line up that seam. And then I'll come to the midriff where it connects with the bodice, and I'll line up that seam. So the back seam allowance is going to go down, and the front seam allowance is going to go down, and the two seams have to line right up with each other. And then I'll come to the waist seams, and the waist seam allowances are going up. So I'm putting a pin right in the seam. I can also put a pin in the seam allowance to hold it in the correct direction. What happened here? There we go. And then I'll come down to the yoke and skirt and make sure those seams are lined up. Those seam allowances are going to aim upward. And it doesn't matter if they're lined up right at the edge. What matters is that they're lined up a ½ inch away from the edge, because that's where I'm going to sew them together. So then I'll come down and find some notches. I think the HBL notch should be around here somewhere. Oh! This isn't the side. The other side has the gathering. This one doesn't have it, right? Right. Okay. So there's a notch somewhere here. Here we go. So line up another notch here. And it looks like I don't have... I do have a notch here, looks like. And then my bottom hem corners. So that is my wearer's right. Well, let's do the sleeve too. So from the underarm, I'll go all the way to the hem of the sleeve. Make sure that it is lining up. And then I can also put a pin to ensure that my elbow dart stays aiming in the correct direction. And then let me get some more pins. so that I can pin in between. And maybe I will pin the lining out of the way. And then we'll go ahead and take this over to the machine and sew it. So my pattern has 1/2 inch seam allowance for the side seam. I'm going to back stitch where I start. I need my pin collector. So the bottom of the sleeve has seam shaping. So I sew up to where the fold of the hem is going to be, and then I pivot it so that it'll fit into my, so that my hem, when it folds up, will fit nicely into the opening of my sleeve. So now I am at my underarm. Now I am connecting my front and back bodice at the side seams, or side front bodice, and back bodice at the side seams. And now I am connecting so right here I'm getting to where the midriff connects to the bodice, right here. And then now I'm sewing across the midriff. And now I am at the waist. And now I have just crossed the waist seam and I am sewing the yoke. And now I am at the yoke seam and I am sewing, let's see, I think I'm on the side of the skirt. Just felt like it came unthreaded, but it's still sewing. Yay. And now I have reached the hem. So now let's go over to the other table and check and make sure that everything matches up. That's my back, and this is my side. So I need to make sure that my yoke seam lines up, my waist seam lines up, my midriff lines up, my underarm lines up, all the way through. So I think I should probably shift the underarm a little bit. Can't see it very well. Oh no, I guess it's okay. All right, so my seam allowance obviously needs to get pressed because it looks pretty terrible here and here. But first let's finish this edge. So I'm gonna take this over to the overlock machine, and I don't need to overlock where this lining is gonna cover it. So I need to overlock the skirt, and I need to overlock the bodice all the way down to the sleeve. I can overlock the line where the lining's going to cover if I want to. It'll just add a little more bulk, but I can do that if it's easier than stopping and starting. So I'm going to go over to the overlock machine and do that real quick. So the side seam has been overlocked, and now we're going to give it a press. This is the front, so I'm going to press my seam allowances towards the front. And to get the underarm seam, I'm going to use a sleeve roll. I don't know why I'm putting it in this way. Usually I put it in the other way. Who knows why she does what she does. Oh, I just realized I have another cool sleeve roll I could have used. That may have even been easier than this. That's okay. I've got another sleeve. I can try the other one on that one. Okay. So probably needs a little bit better press, but that's a good start for this stage of the game. Okay, so we have our right side done. Now we're gonna do our left side.